Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome to your weekly lighting critique or daily lighting critique. So today we've got some new faces. We've got some the usual cast of characters off to the left-hand side here. I should apologize. This is smaller than my normal screen, so if the thumbnails or the images look a little bit smaller or lower quality, I apologize. I was explaining just now. My wife worked an overnight shift in the emergency room. And she's asleep in the room, and I wanted to be respectful, and so I'm doing this on my laptop today. So we've got a handful of images. We're going to start with Kat, who is I feel like a FM disc jockey, like calling in from the road in Phoenix today. Thanks for calling in, Kat. I know she's she's in her car, so we wanted to make sure to get her going, so that she can be safe in her approach. So we took a look at this yesterday. I think your shaping's looking a lot better. Let's start with asking you. So how are you feeling about it? What are you working on? What are you struggling with? How's it going?
I pretty much feel I kind of like this version of it. I added an extra little bit of light to put the sunlight look on top of that pole on the screen left to kind of give it more shaping. So I don't know if you noticed that, but I put that extra light up there. But I think other than the double shadow, I had to rebalance out the lights a little bit because I switched the colors on them. But I think it looks pretty good. I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think? I mean, I like it. So it looks a little different, but it took me a second. But I'm like, this is actually not too bad because the other one seemed more red, so I had to kind of mess a little bit with the sunlight, and then I somehow screwed up the naming of the layers, so it wasn't compositing correctly. So I was going to do more with compositing, but I broke compositing somehow on that file. Okay. So I kind of fixed it somehow. I'm like, because I opened up another file and it worked just fine. I'm like, oh, I guess I broke something. So yeah, I don't know. I changed a name on the render layer, and now it's just like, you want me to do what? And I'm like, okay. But I think it looks pretty good. I mean, I did add a speck light on the darker side of her face to kind of bring up a little bit more speck on that side. Yeah. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that the shaping, I think the structure of it's looking a lot better. I do think that this light that you added in here, I think it's strong. I think it's hitting a little bit too aggressively, and I would pull that back a little bit because we're starting to hit that issue again in here where the diffuse value is being pushed so strongly that we're not seeing the specular as well. And then the other thing that I'm seeing is I would like to maybe try to fill in some of these darker areas a little bit. And I think that would be with like what you used to have as your sunlight is like a large, like a large skylight. Just increasing that a little bit to get a little bit more of that value in here. And then, like you said, getting more specularity in here would be good. I think, but I'm liking the specular shimmer on the shirt. You were able to maintain that, the specularity in the skin. Yeah, double shadow. Just watch out for that. But it sounds like you're on top of it. What are you guys thinking? How are you guys feeling, Tristan and Diana? I fixed the shirt, by the way. If you look down in the reflection.
Oh yeah, you did. Look at that. All right.
Her pants were actually too big. So her pants were too big. So the shirt was going in the back of the pants. So I just shrunk the pants.
Got it. Yeah, we've never seen that angle of her before, and I didn't debug that when I was testing it. So that was it's funny. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think it looks good. A big improvement to the last one, and I like the little rim on her waist.
Yes.
And there's something funky going on with the bump, I think, on her skin. On her face and neck.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I keep changing the bump strength, but I don't know if it's the height. I might decrease the height.
I think it might be too big too, but it feels a little stretched.
Yeah, it feels stretched vertically, and it's Thank you for noticing that. Like it feels almost like wood bark in that it's stretched long ways. So I would just check the UV coordinates on it and make sure that it's right. It might just be a little bit big. It might just need to be scaled down a little bit, but just keep your eye on that.
Yeah, I'll pull the strength down some more.
Cool.
For the height, I should say.
Is that a window behind her?
Yep, it is. It's not as reflective as it used to be because I moved the lighting on it. So.
Okay. Are you planning to put some more reflections of the environment around, or?
Yeah, I can do that. I know at one point Mike was talking about making it a little darker back there because it was almost too bright. So I went the other way when I had to move the light. So I was thinking about that last night, putting another light and making it reflect. So
it might be a
yeah,
point too of not so much lightness and darkness as the contrast might be. Like, because something about mirrors is they have like sometimes they have like a film on them that actually lifts the dark points on them a little bit, like it makes it like if you look at photographs of people in a reflection, especially like an outdoor window, like there's going to be some grime on it, there's going to be like some film on it, like sometimes like these actually feel pretty tinted, like they almost feel like mirrored in their darkness. So it might just be a matter of kind of gamming them up a little bit and like lifting that dark value.
Okay.
Also, because there are windows, but there's nothing really inside that space. And the lights are off. So it might be a matter of just like maybe putting something else back inside that space if you want. Question mark.
Like a light or like
objects, like things.
Objects. Okay.
Like things that like if it was like a furniture store or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's we'll go ahead and we will move on from Kat. Thank you, Kat. You can please drive safely for the remainder of the critique. All right.
I shall. Thank you.
Good deal. Oh, I just want to say, so Kay submitted this. It looks great. Check mark. It's done. I already added it to the Hall of Fame. So really, really brilliant job on this. Again, fast turnaround, rapid improvement over the first iteration. Really, really good job. The other one I wanted to mention was this one, which was submitted for it was like a work in progress of the lighting challenge. For anybody who's watching this, who's working on Ashley, I think this is a really, really great example of her skin tone kind of falling into proper alignment. Like it's really nice. There's like the darkness is still there in the key value, but also is being like the light values are being driven by the specularity, if that makes sense. So like her skin is warm, it's dark, it's rich, and we're able to get some of those specular highlights in there, and I think that's working really well. I know he said he's still working on some of the shader stuff, which is cool, but I wanted to just like draw attention to this because I think we've been talking. It's really hard when we talk about like when I'm like critiquing somebody's work on like what I'm thinking it should look like and not providing a goal image. So I wanted to provide this as like an area to kind of shoot for in terms of values and specularity and stuff like that. All right, Saumik. So welcome to the group. This is your first post, right? From the Power of Light course?
Yeah, that's my first post.
Great. Well, welcome to the group. We're really excited to have you. Really great examples. Like these are both so like really beautifully well lit shots. We'll start with the True Grit one. Just such a beautiful job of warmth over cool. And you said all this in your description, which was really great. I appreciate you sharing it. And like something else about this one that's really nice is the framing of it. The way he sits perfectly centered in this window, and it really kind of boxes him in there. And we've got all these leading lines that are leading back to him. One of the things that I saw in these two images that I thought were so interesting is like this one is very perpendicular in that there are vertical lines in the shot in the blinds in the windows and these window sills, and there are horizontal lines. So everything's kind of a vertical, like even his feet are vertical, his hat, the sides of his hat, like everything is vertical or horizontal in this shot. Versus the other one that you submitted, which is like everything's at an angle, and it's kind of kooky, and it feels like it creates a very distinct difference between the two images. Like this one feels, while it's like balanced, it feels like it's a little bit more dynamic. There's a little bit more going on, where this one feels a little bit more like boom, like it's like locked in, like he's been sitting there for 6 days straight, kind of a thing. Just lighting cigar or pipe after pipe. But just like like the color, the directing the viewer's attention not just to his body but specifically to his face, like getting that, you know, seeing even though they're small, seeing the eye reflections of that flame in there, all really cool stuff. And then this one, like a pretty perfect Rembrandt triangle on this side, the shaping coming across, lot of depth of field, but still light variation in this background is really cool. And just like picking up all the detail on the stuff, and just like this little bits of specular highlight on his necklace, just really beautiful stuff. Yeah. I know you already did a write-up on it, but was there anything else you wanted to talk about with these? I think they're really cool.
I think it was weird, like when I uploaded the pictures, especially the color one, the color kind of changed.
Oh,
because it looks completely different in my computer. It's like much more blue, much more yellow and bright. So yeah, that was interesting.
I wonder, maybe Discord, maybe Discord processed it in a weird way and changed it or something. But yeah,
that might have happened. With the black and white image, the most interesting thing I liked was the bright values, which kind of like fades as it goes into the distance. Like that person who is sitting right behind him has a white cloth, but it still doesn't distract from the main subject. It was pretty interesting as well for me.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Like these white values aren't as high as him.
Yeah, and plus his eyes are like one is in the shadow and one is in the light, so which was very interesting for this image.
Yeah. And I think
that's what I felt.
No, you're totally right. And I think one of the things that's really nice too, and like, of course, we've got kind of an eye-ding type of a thing on this side, which is a reflection of something bright off camera. But I also really want to draw attention to the amount of detail in his skin, and like this little kind of rough specular highlight in here, the specular highlight coming down his nose, and just like we were looking at the texture in Kat's image on the face, and like she's going for the same thing, but like it's really important to kind of get that stuff to make a character make their skin feel right. It's often in like cartoony style animation, you don't always see that, but like if you're trying to really make a character feel real to the audience, I think that bump and that specularity are so important. It's really good.
I got one more question. Do you feel is there like a bounce, something going on from the left side of the screen?
Yeah.
Like as you mentioned, something white on his eyes.
Yeah.
That's reflecting kind of.
Yeah, I think so. Oftentimes, I think there's probably a bounce card or something off camera here, like a reflective something that's bringing some of the light up underneath his chin here and allowing his chin to separate. Otherwise, because otherwise it would just kind of fall. Like it's tough to see because she's out of focus, but like her face is pretty much in the darkness here, and like having this fill value, I don't think it's a light. Usually it's like it's in the other room. I have one, but it's usually like a big reflective card that just bounces light back into the space. Yeah, but but the fact that you notice that is really important. It's a really, really good call. All right, Tristan, let's take a look here. Okay. So one question I had, so I also like the painted one. I think this one was working really well. This one this was comp ready. Is that what it was? Because it just feels like super.
Yeah, it's overexposed. You can discard it. It's just that when I tried to export the images from Nuke, I had some issues with the color space.
Got it.
And so, yeah, I think I tried to export it with sRGB color space, and it did go way overexposed. So,
yeah. No, I think back to the color space thing. Thank goodness Diana's here to explain it all to us, because I'm like you. I'm like, it's just overexposed.
Yeah, it's not overexposed. That's how the image is actually stored in the computer. But when you read a TIFF file, a lot of programs by default think it's linear, so they don't put the conversion that they're supposed to put on it when they open the file. I think that's what's happening, because if you read that image back into Nuke with the read color space of sRGB, it looks like how I think you would want it. Yeah. So it's just, I think it's the format. I don't really know about formats. One of my teachers in school said that TIFF stands for like terrible image format or something. So that's just what I've been taught. But I don't know. I don't know if it's like more. I think it's like just very kind of big.
Yeah, that sounds like a very neutral position on it. So that's good. Unbiased.
Yeah.
But in terms of
yeah.
But in terms of this image itself, I think it's like. Is there anything else that you wanted to adjust or question? Because I actually think it's in a really good spot. The only thing I would like, there's something about the edge line of this water up here, like especially on the screen right side. It feels a little bit sharp, like there feels like a dark line there. But other than that, is there anything that you're... Because I think it looks good. What was I going to say?
I mean, I wanted to finish it by mid-February, so if you're saying it's good,
I mean, like to be clear on that, it's like if I say something is good, like I'm certainly not the end-all, be-all on opinions. I think, but to me, like it feels right. So if anybody else sees anything, because all it's going to do is help you improve the image. So Diana, Kat, Andre, do you guys see anything that you would like to see before we call it done?
I think it looks good. Maybe I want to say nothing. The cards in the foreground, the edges are funky.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
Yeah.
But you
also,
know,
like this card, I would tone down the jack too,
weather
a little
or
bit.
something.
I'm sorry, Diana, I was talking over you. Can you go and say that?
No, that was it.
Yeah, just I would say, and then the jack is a little bit bright. So yeah, check that edging, and that's a really good call. But like post it again so we can get this in the Hall of Fame too. But this is looking really good.
The only thing I would, and that would be like nitpicking, but on the background, the two bright lights, they kind of look so like lost to me a little bit. So maybe just adding a little something in between them or on the top left, either a little bit of detail in the background or
like something in here.
Other light, something like that might make it look more, or maybe tone down them. I don't know exactly what, but it just like they kind of look a little lost for me.
You know, you could try adding a little bit of like shaping in here, like to get a sense, like a little bit, just to see like a little bit of the room back here or the area. Maybe give that a try if you want. I think that's at least worth a try. In terms, because I think that's a valid note to because like at this point it's like just, you know, this would be something that I would just kind of like mock in there a little bit and just see if I like it, and then before like, so you don't have to like crack open the lighting file and go crazy with trying to or like adjust values or shaders or anything. Like I would just open it in comp, do like a slap version of it, and just like put something back there to see if I like it, and then like maybe even I closed it. Even take that like super lifted one and see if there's any value in that, and just like put that back there. Just to see just like an edge detail on the wall, or like, you know, maybe there's a picture hanging on the wall there, and just like picking up a little bit of the edge of the detail of that or something.
And is that the one right by his face? Is that an exit sign?
Yeah.
Because shouldn't it be like, I know it might be, it's probably the perspective on, you know, but I would expect the exit sign to be like on top, not like in the middle of the frame.
Oh, like up here?
I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
I like where it is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give a vote.
Okay.
It's more like the upward angle that we're looking at things. Like
I think it's believable, but that's.
I think that maybe because. And I don't know if it's the transmission that might be, the quality might be low, but it might be because the fact that I don't see the ceiling, then it kind of looks like it's floating.
Oh, like we're not seeing the distinction.
Because the sign is normally like at the top, you know, like right by the ceiling. So I don't know, maybe that's what's throwing me off.
Yeah, and that might be part of that same one of just getting some more like of the room detail back there. That's good.
Yeah, a little bit more detail might bring it all together.
All right, I'll look into it.
That's really good. Okay, cool. Thank you guys so much. That's
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. All right. So I think please chime in if anybody else is here. But I have Ashley, Wenhui, and Yang with the 3 images, and we'll go through those now unless anybody else has. Okay, go ahead and do that. So Ashley, I like this new camera angle a lot. I do think that we could probably desaturate some of the colors a little bit to match this. And we are kind of inverting the, although this is like, if we just took him out of it, right, and we're just looking at the background, I think we could go, let's see. I think the center of them could possibly go a little bit darker. And like, do you see how there's like a fog over top and there's like, you know, variation in the dark values as we go top to bottom with like a focus kind of right here in the middle of peak darkness? I think you could do something like that. And like, I can see that you have this like peak lightness, but it's kind of overshooting. It's like over top of where they are. I would like pull that down into here and then get the central darker points on them to be a little bit darker. And then try and like break it up with a little bit of a noise pattern in there would be pretty cool. And then focusing in on the character here. I think, like this light seems, so one thing about these work lamps is they tend to focus like on the desktop. Where this one kind of feels like it's focused on him. So I would rotate it downward a little bit and then really focus on getting that bounce light in there. I think that would be, I think that would be cool. And then like getting his face to fill in a little bit with that, bounce light, coming up in there. And then because we can theoretically like rationalize that there's light coming from this back because we're seeing this gradation, I would put a little bit of a rim light on him too, and get his outline to kind of stand out a little bit. But I like the camera position a lot better from the original, and I think and I like the way that you're kind of framing him in this doorway. The other thing I would potentially consider is if you adjust this to make it a little bit higher, so that we can read his entire silhouette, so it doesn't get cut off here by the edge of the lamp. Okay, and then I'll give you guys a chance to chime in. I'm just losing battery power, I'm realizing, and I kind of want to make sure that I don't, like, this doesn't crap out before the end of this. Okay, and then we've got Weng Hui. So again, in our added emotional version of this scene with the added picture of the woman here in the empty chair. I do think the chair feels like it could have more shaping to it, like more light to dark fall off coming across it. And also like the pillows, because the pillows feel very contrasty and they're light to dark fall off, that I'm not seeing the same thing in the chair. And I would like for those, like a little bit less contrast in the pillows and a little bit more in the chair itself. In terms of the character, I think the specularity is still like maybe a touch too high. He feels a little sweaty. And then I think the key value on him can go a little bit brighter too. Still work on darkening down here, because it feels like it's getting a little brighter as we reach the floor there. I do like the detail that we're seeing in here on these boxes. I think are looking really nice. And then try and get this bookshelf back behind the chair here to just be a little bit darker. And that'll help us focus in there. But again, like the light penetrating the curtain there and seeing some of that stuff. And the outside, that exposure level feels pretty good. And then we've got Yang. So yeah, with this one, yeah. Oh, like you're going back to revisit this one. Also double check the new animated shots that we have posted in the group. There's some new stuff coming in too. I think this is beautiful. Like, I love the color of this light. I think you can even push the purple outside a little bit stronger. And like, I think you can go a little bit more saturated outside even here, just a touch. But I think the lighting on them looks really good. I would just maybe, I'm wondering if like their skin does feel a little bit matte diffuse, like maybe just adding a little more specularity into that. I do, because I like seeing the specularity in his hair a little bit and feeling that, like, because this is a small light source and feeling that a little bit in his skin tone. His fingers feel like there's extra ambient occlusion in there or something. They feel very dark, especially in this pose. Let's see if they're in the other ones. Like here a little bit too, but more so in these. Like they feel super, the shadows feel super dark in there, so watch out for that. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about these two. I love the windows. I think the condensation, the moisture on the windows looks really good. But yeah, this where the shot builds to it just looks so beautiful. Like it looks really, really good. Okay, and that's everyone. I'll open it up to. Do you guys have any comments on Ashley's, Wenhui's, or Yang's before we wrap up for the day? All right.
On Ashley, one thing I think I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I would suggest is that, like on the reference, you can see that, like the two, whatever that is, hands, whatever, roots.
Yeah.
They look more 3D than the viruses, whatever that are on her shot.
Yeah.
To me, it kind of looks like that's the one on her shot is a painting on the wall there. So maybe, like you said, making the center a little bit more, giving a little more dimension, making the center a little darker, might make that come better as if being backlit and light coming through. And also, like you said, maybe a rim light on him to give this idea that the light is coming from the back also.
Yeah, that's a really strong point. Yeah, it's yeah, like the second you said that, it does kind of feel a little two-dimensional back there. So just adding some more dimensionality to the coronavirus bulbs. I don't know what to call those guys back there. Yeah. And maybe, I see them everywhere, but they don't have a name.
Yeah, having like a rim light on them also, some specularity on them to show that that light is shining through them.
No, that's great. That's great. All right, cool. Well, as always, you guys are amazing. Anything else before we wrap for the day? All right, you guys are great. I love this. This is like, so I had a stressful morning, and this has like been the highlight of my day. You guys are great. I love it. So thank you guys so much for joining in, and and it's been really great. We'll see you again tomorrow, and look out for Thursday. We've got a student-led critique with Diana and Forrest taking charge on that, because I have to pop out for another quick little oral surgery. Yay! And then we'll be able to hop in from there. So thank you guys so much again, and I will talk to you all very soon. All right. Happy lighting, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
No problem.